Hi guys, it's Sono here, and I know it's been a while. It's been almost 3 months since my last video, and I'm recording this video to say I'm back, and I need to explain a couple of things to you guys because I obviously only have an explanation as to why I have been gone, and I decided it's a bit of a necessary video to make because what I've been through in this last couple of months is something a lot of people go through every day, and in case there's anybody out there dealing with unemployment or job security, I want to dedicate this video to them because I know what this is like. So the reason that I have been gone is that on May 11, 2025, I lost my job. Yeah, I know that's not a nice thing to say, and it happened right on Mother's Day, when I was celebrating with my family. And I need you to give you guys a couple of context as to what I had been doing before this job loss. So on December 2024, I was hired for an intern job at a recycling firm in the outskirts of my town. I was just wrapping up freshman year of college and I wanted a job. I had already had a job in the beginning of the year, but it was just a summer contract for a parts and hardware store downtown. And I wanted another one because I wanted to have some independence for myself. I got hired. I worked there for 5 months. But while I really liked the job, what I was doing, because I was running the office for that small company, which was family run, there was also some problems I had been going through in that job. Basically, some of the tasks I had to do, my bosses, they really didn't tell me, and I was a little bit sloppy with some tasks at the time. And one thing that happened to me a lot in this job is that I was always the last employee to be paid their salary. I didn't earn a lot at this job in terms of monthly payment, but for a teenager my age, that I'm 19, it's kind of a lot of money where I live. I need enough to wait for myself if I wanted to for a while. But while the rest of the employees, they were paid on the 5th day of the month, I was paid in the 15th day of the month, you understand? I remember that in my last day of work, everything was normal. I worked much normally. I was having a good conversation with my bosses. My boss even cooked for me, which was nice. I ate and I went home and they had a smile on my face. Then it comes Sunday, May 11th, which was Mother's Day. I was recording a video that I ended up deleting from my computer because I was too sad. And I get a text message from my supervisor, which was the son of my boss, which was an old woman, saying that they thanked me for my services and I didn't need to go there tomorrow morning. I was gone. And by this point, my payment of April hadn't been done. All of the other employees had been paid at that point, but I hadn't. I was pissed about it because honestly, I know I wasn't doing the best job at the company, but they didn't even give me a heads up that I were going to do this, you know? They just fired me out of nowhere one day. And my boss, my main boss, the old woman, she didn't even give me an explanation for it. She didn't even answer my message. And I demanded they prove to me that they paid for April already because I hadn't received the money. And after 5 hours, it was I got the message at about 4 p.m. and at about 9 p.m. at night, my boss says that they were letting me go because there's no need for a intern there and that he can do a better job. And I said, okay, that's fine. Man, I was pissed. I was so mad. I was so mad that I was crying because this had never happened to me. And basically Mother's Day was ruined because I just lost my job. Over text and without getting my salary paid. But you know what? I'm the type of person who, when something happens to me that I find that is unfair or where people doubt me, I immediately want to prove them wrong, and to fix the situation. And I remember that the day didn't even roll up to the Monday, and I spent the whole Sunday night awake applying to more jobs. And by the next Tuesday, I had already arranged an interview for myself in a clothing store. And my quest started to go job hunting. Financially, I didn't struggle at this time because I have my own money that I got from this job. And, my parents helping me out. But it was a very, very stressful time for me. I was on the hunt for a new job from May 11 to June 14, 33 days. And probably this was the most stressful period of my life. Because even though people told me that I shouldn't be worried too much because I was still in college, and I had decent money, I didn't have any debt, etc. That wasn't enough for me, and I remember that in those days that I was looking for another job, I couldn't sleep at night at all. I was just spending nights awake, thinking about the problem, applying for more vacancies, wanting something desperately. And I wasn't eating very well, not in terms of overeating, but not eating too much, like spending long periods without water, or on screens applying for jobs. I was very unmotivated, and my self-esteem was all the way down to my feet because I didn't believe in myself at that point, but I knew I had to keep trying. And over that period of 33 days, I applied to over 70 vacancies. I remember when the vacancies dried up in my town, when I applied for other places, for other cities near mine. And in 33 days, I did 8 interviews in total. I did one for the clothing store that I mentioned. I did one for my town's hospital. I did another one for our electric company. I did 3 interviews for 3 different accounting offices because I'm a finance student. I did another interview for a trucking company, and I did another one for a cybersecurity company. But I didn't get the job in either of these. And there was even one week that I did 3 interviews in a week. And there were some other interviews I was called for, but these were in other cities and I just couldn't go because it was too far away. And I thought that I would be unemployed for months, I was very, very disappointed. I thought what I could have done to make things better, and I was thinking that my life was over pretty much. But then we get to June the 8th. So on that day, a Sunday, I had another interview scheduled for next Monday, the 9th at 3 p.m. And at night, I get a message from that company's HR that for some type of internal problems, they couldn't do the interview with me anymore tomorrow, and they would rearrange it. And I thanked them for the message, and I said, yeah, that's another week where I'm not gonna find anything. So I became more desperate again, and it was around 8 a.m. And I opened my phone and I started looking for job offers when I saw one, and it was a application for an intern contract at the city hall in my city. And I honestly looked at it and I thought I just couldn't do it, because I thought, look at me, I just got fired from a recycling yard. I'm never gonna get a job at the city hall at this point. But at the same time, I didn't have any choice left on my sleeve. So I applied for that vacancy and I went to sleep. Guys, to be honest, the very next day, on Monday the 9th, I get an email on my cell phone from the city hall saying that I was hired. I thought, no, this must be like an invitation for a interview or something, but then I realized I was hired, and I couldn't believe it. And then I talked to my parents, because I need to get some documents to finish my contract. I did this on Thursday, July 12th, and by then the contract was already done and I just needed some extra documentation before I begin. I needed to do a little exam, some medical thing you have to do, and open up a new bank account so I can receive my salary. And I got all this done alone on the morning of Friday the 13th, a Monday, of June. I'm sorry, I don't even know what I'm talking about. I don't have a script for this video. And what happened is that on the next Monday, 16th, I went to the city hall again to deliver all of the things that were left. And then the lady gave me a paper and told me to go to this building where maybe I could get a spot there. But after some hours, I get a new message from the boss from that section. And they said that I would be better working at the city hall itself in some department. And he told me to go there on Tuesday the 17th at 7:30 to see what would happen. And June 17th was my birthday, my 19th birthday. So I wake up early and I go to the city hall. I was thinking I was just going to sign the contract. Then I go to the HR, the lady tells me to wait for a certain person, and then I get pulled into the treasury's office on the building, and suddenly I'm on my first day on the job, right on my birthday. Honestly, I was not expecting that, but I was happy because the irony just wasn't lost on me, because I had gotten fired via text on Mother's Day, just a month before. And I had gotten a new job and a better job on my birthday, which is incredible. And so far, I have almost been 2 months into this new job, and I like this very much. I spent a month in the Treasury's office covering up for someone that had gone on some kind of license, and they were with me away for a month. And after they came back, I was moved to the facilitization parts of the city hall, which is like the room to the left side of where I used to work. And I've been here for almost 3 weeks now, and I honestly think it's a good reason to think that I lost that job and then I got this other one, because not only I'm getting paid better with benefits, but I also learning a lot more, and I'm getting pushed a lot harder in my job because I have a lot of responsibilities now, and this just pushes me to be a better person, which I think is awesome. And it's a job that I never expected that I would do ever in my life, but it's a job that I like, and that's very, very intriguing to me. But the trouble with my former employer wasn't quite over yet. You see, remember that I said that I was fired on May 11th? Almost a month later, right before I started going to this job, that I have now, I still hadn't been paid the days that I worked on in May, and another kind of payment that they needed to make to me according to the law. And I'm someone that is pretty patient, and I like to, just wait for people to do the thing. But as the days passed, it became clear that they weren't just gonna pay it if I waited around. And my former boss, she used to make this little jokes on me, the older woman that I mentioned, that claiming that she was a very organized person, that she never forgot things. And I remember what she said. And I was thinking to myself one day on Sunday the 15th of June, and I thought to myself, she says she never forgets important things, and she hasn't paid my salary yet. That only leaves one option. She doesn't want to pay it because she thinks I'm gonna forget it. And I decided, you know what? I'm not gonna let that fly. I'm tired. I don't like picking fights. Well, anyway, it got clear. But it became clear they weren't gonna pay me if I didn't apply some pressure to it. So on Monday, on the 16th, while I was sitting downtown in the park, I decided now was the time to talk about this. So I pulled out my phone. I opened up her phone number on my messages, and I sent the following message attached to a screenshot of the payment data that I get for all my jobs in my agency. And I said the following: "Hey, I'm gonna say this only once, alright? I still haven't gotten paid the days that I worked for in May. I worked these days over here at this time without missing a single day. Pay me up until the end of the week, or I'm going to talk to the agency about it." And I was a little bit angry, so I said the following things. And for your information, you say that I'm very disorganized, and you're right. I am so disorganized, ma'am, that I am working at the city hall now, and there's another office that is fighting for my place in there, because there was another accounting office that was circling around me, but I just couldn't take the job because of the other one. But anyway, and I said, "Hey, if you think you can get your son to solve this problem for you because she made her son fire me, you're very wrong, okay? I understand that you're trying to play me, and I'm not gonna sit around thinking that's okay. So you either pay me up, or I'm going to make this more difficult for you." And I blocked her. But not before I sent her my payment data, because I thought maybe she'd use the excuse that she didn't have my data and that's why she didn't pay. So I just got that excuse right in the middle, just in case, So the week goes by, and the other Monday rolls around. I'm not working my new job, and the deadline is hit, and my payment's still not there. So I did as I promised, and I talked to my agency about it, my job agency. I explained the situation, and they said they would look into it. And I think that's when my old employer realized that I wasn't fooling around, that I wasn't just some angry young man trying to get money. And when I went for my lunch break that Monday, I looked up in my bank, and I had gotten my payment final. And I just forget about them still being angry, but I got a new job now, I gotta move on. And yesterday, on Saturday, August the 9th, I went out for a jog, just walk in the park, and by 7 p.m. I decided to go to the market because I needed more bread for my home. And when I was at the counter for the bakery section of the market, I came across the man that fired me via text, the boss's his son. And I heard what he was saying. I didn't look in his direction, and he was saying, "Hey," he was saying that to the lady in the counter. She said, "Hey, are you sure you're gonna take that?" And he says, "Can you do the math for me and see if this bread is going to cost more than 20 bucks, because that's all I had. So I was pretty pissed as soon as I saw him, and I decided, I'm just gonna get some chicken because I don't want to be in here with him. So I went to the chicken. Now I get some chicken to cook at home. I want to return. The man's not there anymore. I get my bread and make my way to the payment area, and I also went to the cashier aisles that we have here, and there he is in the middle one. So I take the one to the left and just do my payments. I even help the cashier pack up all of my groceries with the bags and all. And as I was doing this, I saw with the corner of my eyes that he looked in my direction. I think he saw me. I think he recognized me. But I just pretend I don't see him, and I keep helping the lady. I thank her and I go home. Pretty pissed that I saw him, but that's okay. And as a side note, that's a bit of a contrast to what I saw. As I was leaving the market, pulling my cart away, I come across the boss I had at the treasury's office, which is honestly the first decent boss I have, the one who actually taught me things and actually treated me with respect. We talked for a little bit, and then we go our separate way, which I guess was just in a little ironic contrast to what I had seen. And I get home, I don't talk with this about anyone because why bother with it, and I just go to sleep. So the message that I want to send to you guys with this video is especially those who are going through unemployment at this time, or are just struggling to find new jobs, or are just in a job where they feel disrespected. My message to you guys is this: I know I don't have any experience of life. I'm just 19 and just getting by in college and work and life in general. But if you ever find yourself in unemployment and you are desperate for a job, don't give up, okay? I thought I would never get a job after that. I applied to over 70 vacancies and I got nothing. But you'll just need one yes, okay? I know seems like just bro advice, but it worked for me, and now it's paying off, and I got this huge opportunities in my plate, which I'm definitely gonna take. And if you ever feel disrespected or that someone is trying to play you, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself, okay? Because I did, and it helped. So this is my video, my comeback video. I'm sorry I've been away from this, guys, because I've been adjusting to life, because I'm working more hours now. I'm just trying to juggle college and work, but now I got some stability of time, and I've been working on some new things, some dreams that I had thought that were long forgotten, and I can't wait to share them with you, because just these things are pretty big. And as for this channel, I want to continue making videos, but I kind of want to innovate a thing in the formula that I used. I want to make more unique videos, like ideas videos or an essay videos, and I hope you guys like it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.